World War I wasn't only fought in trenches, it was fought in vaults, in gold reserves, in bond auctions, in central banks, in quiet rooms where men with clean hands moved numbers that decided who could keep fighting. Because modern war has a hidden rule. The side that can finance the longest war usually wins the battlefield later. You're watching Hidden Money History, where the past leaves receipts. In 1914, Europe still lived under the gold standard. That meant every major currency carried an unspoken promise. Paper could be exchanged for real metal. It made money feel real. But it also made war expensive in the most dangerous way. It limited printing. And the moment the war started, that limit became a problem. Millions of men were mobilized. Factories were redirected. Trade routes snapped. Insurance costs exploded. Governments were burning cash at a speed their pre-war budgets were never built for. At first, leaders told the public it would be quick, a short campaign, a quick victory, back by Christmas. But within weeks, the math became impossible. So the first financial battle began. Keep the public calm while quietly breaking the rules. One by one, states suspended gold convertibility, not always with big announcements, sometimes through temporary measures. Bank holidays, emergency laws, capital controls. Translation: your paper was no longer a claim on gold. It was a claim on the state's survival. That's the real turning point. Once you remove the gold anchor, war stops being limited by metal. It becomes limited by credit, propaganda, and trust. And then comes the next weapon: war bonds. Governments didn't just ask citizens to fight, they asked them to lend. Buy bonds, fund victory, do your duty. It was genius. Because a war bond turns patriotism into financing. It converts private savings into state spending, and it spreads the pain into the future. Germany pushed war loans hard, especially because blockade and isolation made foreign borrowing difficult. Britain and France did it too, but with one massive advantage: London's financial network and access to global capital. Which brings us to the quiet winner of the financial war: the United States. America starts the war officially neutral. But neutrality didn't stop commerce. Allied powers needed food, oil, steel, ships, ammo. And the US could supply it. So American banks and markets became the pipeline. Even before US troops arrived, US money was already on the field. And here's the key: when a country funds your survival, it gains leverage over your future. By 1917 to 1918, the world had a new financial map. Europe had spent years converting gold credibility into paper promises. Debt piled up, currencies weakened, inflation rose. And the public learned the hard lesson: war doesn't end when the shooting ends. War keeps billing you. Meanwhile, the US emerges with a stronger position than any army could capture. It becomes the creditor. That shift matters more than most history classes admit, because after 1918, the next war is repayment. Britain and France owed huge sums. They also had citizens who bought war bonds, and those citizens expected to be paid back. So the political pressure was simple: someone else must pay. That someone became Germany. Reparations weren't only punishment, they were a financial bridge, a way for the victors to tell their own populations, we'll recover the cost. But there was a problem. You can't squeeze money from a broken economy forever. So Germany struggles. It prints, its currency collapses, savings are destroyed, trust evaporates. And this is the most dangerous feature of financial war. It doesn't just ruin balance sheets, it ruins social stability. When ordinary people watch their savings die, they stop trusting institutions. And when trust breaks, politics gets extreme. Now look at the next layer of the trap. To stabilize Europe, money starts moving in circles. US lenders provide funds into Germany. Germany uses funds to pay reparations to Britain and France. Britain and France use funds to service debts back to the US. It looks like a functioning system, but it's a loop built on confidence. The moment confidence cracks, the loop snaps. And when the global economy later hits shock, that interlocked debt structure becomes fragile. Not because one country was evil, because the design itself was brittle. Too many promises stacked on top of each other. So what did World War I really change? It proved four things. 1, gold-backed discipline could be suspended in an emergency. 2, mass debt could be sold as patriotism. 3, Central banks and states could manage trust through policy, not metal. 4. Financial power could shift empires without firing a shot. That's why World War I isn't only a military turning point, it's the moment the modern debt and credit world becomes normal. And that playbook never disappeared. When you see governments financing the unimaginable through borrowing, when you see central banks stabilizing markets, when you see citizens paying the cost through inflation or taxes, you're watching a pattern that accelerates in 1914. So here's the comment question. If war is financed through debt, who really wins long term? The nation that fights or the nation that lends? Write your answer below. Subscribe to Hidden Money History, because the real battlefield is often the balance sheet, and history always leaves receipts.